Go for it.
Good afternoon, Alvaro. How are you?
Good afternoon, Johan from Spain. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Absolutely. I'm Johan from South Africa, and I work with Bodywork for Men. And Alvaro is my good friend in Spain, in Madrid. And we're going to do a debriefing about our conversation, our men's circle that happened on Wednesday evening. And the whole theme was rethinking sex. And the theme for that evening was rethinking penetration. So, Alvaro, what did we say happened, or what is penetration?
Okay, so we thought of different ways of penetration, how we consider penetration from the point of the giver and also from the point of the receiver. So first thing that came up was anal penetration, penis and anus. But then in the group, they also shared different ways of penetration. It can be also sounding, if you think of it in a medical or in a kink point of view, inserting a metal tube, for example, from the urethra, in the urethra, so you can stimulate certain parts of the penis that you cannot access from the outside. And we also thought about how the physical body and the chakra system is connected. So it's not only, when we say penetration, it is not only in a physical way. Did we mention other ways of penetration, Johan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the other way of penetration was, sucking. So it's also penetration. Yes. And then also docking. That's where both parties, or one party has a foreskin and it goes over. That is also a way of penetration. And then also just penetration with a finger.
Yes.
Either in the mouth or actually kissing the tongue. That can also be penetration.
Actually,
and then of course, there's also women, if or bi men or heterosexual, they also penetrate, and it's vaginal penetration or penis into the vagina. So that is all ways of penetration.
So can we translate for the Spanish viewers?
Absolutely. I have to say that it's a bilingual Spanish and English version. So please do.
We had people not only from South Africa and Spain, but also from Chile and Honduras. So we try to have it an open conversation and worldwide too. So, buenas, yo soy Álvaro, él es Johan, que me ha invitado a su charla con un círculo de hombres y estuvimos hablando de la penetración. Y la penetración la consideramos no solo como partes del cuerpo, el pene en la boca, en el ano, en la vagina, también penetraciones como el sondaje con instrumentos externos, o incluso incorporando el sistema de chakras que se relaciona con el cuerpo. Yep. So, yeah, we did that, and we also talked about how the sex is not an individual act. So you need to put yourself in the other person's shoes and open yourself if you're going to receive, but also if you're going to give.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, anything sexual, either it's just masturbation or having sex with somebody or penetrating somebody or even receiving penetration, it is I think the whole idea, it's not only a deed, it's becoming more conscious. And that's why the rethinking whole idea comes from why and how can we rethink sex? And then also, how do we rethink penetration? So, yes, what is your take on that, Alvaro? How do we do that?
Yes, I think that energy circulates, right? And you cannot label yourself, or people used to label themselves as bottom or top. And we agreed in the group that labels are not helping us to have conscious sex. And when we have a conscious penetration, you enjoy fusing with the other person, you enjoy becoming one. And it's only in the near the regions, but also with your heart. And that is very important. It is a big achievement. You can hear about it, but when you achieve to do that, to penetrate with your body, but also with your energy or with your soul, or however you want to talk about it or think about it, we agreed that that was, you know, the maximum goal you can achieve, not only at a sexual pleasure level. Mm-hmm.
You want to translate?
Okay, so estuvimos hablando de cómo la penetración es importante concebirla dentro de un enfoque que sea para la sexualidad consciente. Entonces, es importante la persona que penetra y el penetrado, y es un acto de abrirse a la otra persona, pero en los dos aspectos. La energía circula y eso es la forma de hacer la penetración consciente. Uh-huh.
Thank you. I remember that we also talked about to be vulnerable. And I think
exactly.
When you are in a mode of penetration, either receiving or giving, you can be both in a very vulnerable state, both the giver and the receiver. And I think it's very important that we don't say top and bottom anymore, but because sex becomes very conscious. And when sex is becoming conscious, we also take away labels and we don't label anything. Sex is also very much at the moment very fluid. And yes. We have that fluidity that goes either male, female energy, the you know, top, bottom, or the receiver and giver. And I think that is the new way of rethinking and re-talking or relabeling sex and then penetration.
Yes, and also I'd like to conclude by saying when that Anand talks about the concept of absorption.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I didn't understand the absorption.
Well, what I understood was that he says that both the chakra system, the energy, and the body, the physical body, are connected. So when you penetrate or when you receive, when you surrender and open to the other person, you are sharing, you are connecting, and you are in sync. So it's I don't think that, or I think that if you conceive it as an exchange and not only receiving on both ends, but you know, communicating and cooperating, that's how you absorb the other person. Or when you, I think he meant that when you fuse, when you feel that you're fusing with the other person, you don't really know if you are penetrating or being penetrated because you're focusing on the energy that's flowing. How would you explain it?
Would you like to translate?
Oh, sure, yes. So Anand nos introdujo el concepto de absorción. Y entonces él nos recordó que el sistema de chakras está conectado con el cuerpo físico. Y la persona que penetra y la que es penetrada acaban fundidas. Entonces no solamente físicamente hay una penetración, sino que hay un intercambio, hay una comunicación y eso produce que absorbas la energía de la otra persona. Yeah, I think he was referring to energy, basically absorbing energy and absorbing the other person and fusing, yeah.
So I also understood that when he talked about the physical body, you know, if you are getting penetrated or are getting fucked, if we would say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You have to let your anus or the vagina actually absorb
Okay.
the penis.
Yes.
So on a physical level, I think it's also, yeah, it's not just forcing it in, but it's really let it absorb you
Yes.
as the giver, but also if the receiver is actually embrace the absorption. And
Mm-hmm.
that is on a physical level, but then it becomes on a chakra level or an energetic level, it can
Yeah.
be then fusing the energy. So it is then the absolutely in blissfulness, and that is what we would say rethinking sex or
Mm-hmm.
rethinking penetration.
Yeah. And I think that sort of rethinking is not, I mean, rethinking sexuality, it doesn't only translate during the sexual act, but also being mindful. So through your day, you are interacting with people, you're interacting with the situation, or even with objects. And I think being aware that you are giving and receiving at the same time, whether you're doing something actively or passively, I think that's what helps me. I mean, this sort of men's circles help me to relate to my own life. So you can take it to your own life. It's not only about sex.
Yeah, and I think thank you very much for reminding me how important these men's circles are. You know, we have this circle every um, Thursday evening, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's very important to learn from each other, but also learn the importance of men's sexual health.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you are gay or straight.
Okay, that's excellent. Yeah. May I translate that into Spanish? Estábamos diciendo que es importante en el círculo que luego lo puedes sacar tu vida diaria, no solamente no solamente se aplica esa sexualidad consciente durante el acto sexual, sino que después estás viendo cómo en tu relación diaria con otras personas o con las cosas físicas estás en ese ciclo de dar y recibir, y que en el círculo es un lugar seguro para poder interactuar, para poder escuchar a otras personas. ¿Ya?
Thank you, Alvaro. And
Yeah.
this brings us to the end of our little debriefing about Wednesday's beautiful circle for men.
Yes. And it was great to meet people from around the world, so you can hear what other people feel, not only what they say. And yeah, I really value that. When you invited me to participate, I really valued that. It's a safe space, and it's not like a conversation you have with a friend, but also you are not judging, and you are open to say what you want. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Gracias. And have a wonderful afternoon.
You too. Enjoy.